It's me, Jordan Long, and today we're going to talk about folks who don't like WWE. Now, I'm not going to come on here and make a whole film talking about, why I have to fight for something I like. If someone doesn't like something, then they don't like something, and it's that smooth. But what I am going to say is they they don't like it when you tell, well, I'm not telling anyone what to like and what not to like and what to watch and what not to watch. That will never be my way. I will never do that. But there are some folks in this world who, if they don't like something, the smoothest thing they can do is to walk away from it, not watch it anymore. But for some folks out there, they cannot do that. It's hard for them. So what they do is they keep on watching something they know they're getting no happiness or glee from anymore, or never did. Or they do it to see what folks will say and do. And if that's what they do, then they're doing it for the wrong grounds. If they're doing it to see if someone gets sad or mad or irked or wretched at them, then that's the sad grounds for doing it. That's what some folks would call trolling. Now, they're going to say, well, a lot of folks, that might be their thought and belief. Yes, for some of them, it might be. For some of them out there, that truly is their thought and belief. And for others, they do it just to see. They do it so they can see if someone will get irked or mad or sad at them. But if someone doesn't get irked or mad or wretched or sad over it, then what is it then? Then it was time of their life they can't get back. Yes, there are folks out there who, when it comes to WWE, they'll bitch and they'll whine and they'll nag about, they're doing children's stuff again. How dare they go back to doing children's stuff? Well, a lot of folks forget, or they choose to forget, that WWE in its midway has always been, children. And and a lot of folks will say, "Oh, that wasn't true." From 1997 while up to 2009 while it was for grown-ups. Yes, that was true, but even at that time there was still some kin and kid stuff in there. If you looked hard enough, I'm sure you could seek it. But let's keep in mind that at that time you had grown-ups and tweens watching. So you really can't say it was only for grown-ups. And yes, the early days it was kin and it was kids, and it's back to kin and kids. But keep in mind, that was WWE's midway. At the end of the day, that's what WWE always was. There always were about having the funny out of life Southhoods. They were always about doing funny things in their wrestling that some will like and some will not like. And for some folks out there who choose to forget, or actually did forget where WWE came from and what they truly was, then I don't know what to tell them. Oh, well, during AE and, and RA lifetimes, it wasn't like that. Maybe at one time it wasn't. But even then, WWE wasn't being true to themselves. WWE was only doing it, I believe, to get back at WCW for taking away a lot of their watchers they were getting. WWE's heart wasn't truly in it, and they only did it as long as they had to do it when it seemed to be a big need for it. They didn't do it because they wanted to. At the end of the day, it did more to harm them than it did to help them. So at the end of the day, they went back to their true self. And if their true self isn't what folks like, then oh well. Yeah, that's what I believe. I'm not going to come on here and sob, or come on here and wail, or come on here and be mad or irked or wretched over someone not liking WWE anymore. Never did. But I am going to come on and tell you that I believe that that wasn't their true self. That they were only doing it because it seemed to be a big thing at the time. That all other farcier shows were doing it at the time. WCW had gotten into doing that. ECW had gotten into doing that too. So it was just a big thing to do at the time. So WWE had to go with the time. But their heart wasn't truly in it. And I think at the end of the day, it did more to harm them, and they wasn't their true self. That was never WWE's true self. So I think over time, when the need wasn't there anymore, they said, "All right, the need's not there anymore. We don't have to do this anymore." And I know a lot of folks out there would have you believe, "Oh, they sold out. Oh, they did this. Oh, it's all about this shit now." Well, the truth is, they make more gout now than they did back then. They got more footers and the backers now than they did before that. They get more books and song discs and film discs and dolls and and film games and all kinds of stuff sold more than they did back then. So for they must be doing something right for them being in business with making stuff that where everyone can like, instead of just having it out there for only one or two folks out there to like. You know? So yeah. Oh, but it was more fun and it was more good during, at A, E, or A, or R, A, E. That was your thought and belief. There was no truth to it. Oh, but the watch time on USA and TNN was going through the roof. Maybe that was true. Maybe USA and TNN at the time were getting a lot of watching and looking, getting a lot of business wises. But if that was true, I didn't see ABC or CBS bending over backwards to get Monday Night Raw, if that was true. I didn't see them bending over backwards to get SmackDown when the watch time was going through the roof on UPN at one point. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Folks are gonna like what they're gonna like. They're gonna hate what they're gonna hate. I'm not gonna come on here and get all irked and mad and wretched like that's what they would want me to do, and I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say that WWE and its midway, that's what it is. Like English is Germanic, that's a Latin borrowed word. The English word is podisc. It's like a speech, what its true self is. Well, business, or at least WWE, that's what its true self was. That's what they always did. That's what they liked. That's what they had to go, that's what they went back to do when they knew what actually worked for them when it wasn't working anymore. Before I end this film, there's going to be folks out there saying, "Oh, well, there was not working." Actually, it is working for them. See, the whole grown-up stuff, that worked for them at one time. And it stopped working for them. If they went back to doing that now, first, the folks that left would never come back. It is hard to get anyone to come back once they make the choose and pick to leave. Two, they would lose all their backers and afforders. They would lose all their business wises they got. They probably would harm them. It would probably harm them more than it did before. So it wouldn't help them. At the end of the day, folks would still scave them. Folks would still bitch and whine and nag about what they were doing, even if it was for grown-ups or not. So WWE went back to what worked for them in the 1980s until the 1990s. The FE You know, the NGE, those two lifespans you hate so much, folks. You know, the ME and the ENE, those two you bitch about. Because apparently those other two lifespans aren't not going to work anymore. I'm Jordan Long, and I hope you like this film.